Fixed her body a little. I wonder if I can change that in this. Because you can import the CAW, but you can't, it doesn't transfer over to your... Oh, I think her body did change. No, I don't think it did. Hold on. Yeah, I don't think I can change my body now. The eyeshadow was amazing. Thank you. Today, the look is inspired by Cheshire Cat from Bayonetta. So, we're gonna play that later. Oh! Yeah, that's so weird. Like, why can't I change the whatever? Yeah, I changed her mug a little bit. And the one in my regular mode, not universe, looks a little better. This game actually looks so fun. Thank you. I don't know why I said thank you. I'm okay. Like, I worked on it. Like, yeah, yeah. You like my bobs? Oh, in the game. Sorry. I thought you were talking about IRL.
What do you want? Oh, no, 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 no. I hope you're not going to ask me about teaming up. As one half of the first ever women's tag team champions, I understand why you'd want to, but the answer is no.
So who is the other half of the first tag team champions? Can you say her name? Say her name.
What are you talking about?
Are you really so out of the loop? Ding dong, hello. All anyone who's anyone is talking about are the rumors that management is going to have a tag team Money in the Bank ladder match. Whoever wins the briefcase gets a contract they can cash in for a tag team championship match.
What?
You get all that, you dummy?
No, I'm not dumb. You know who's dumb? Management for making this. What does that mean? A tag team Money in the Bank ladder match? What the?
I get why everyone's talking about it. That's some interesting gossip.
August, thank you for using your Prime on me.
Wait a dang nab second here. You're not planning on entering, are you?
And what if I was? And what? Also, wait, them literally being like, wait, why did they make the reference to Sasha and Bailey teaming up when quite literally they could have just been like, hi, I'm Bailey from Damage Control. I am one of the most dominant tag teams in the industry right now. They like literally wanted to reference Sasha without saying her name. Okay.
Yeah, I think I am.
Sorry, I just needed a laugh.
You really just let a giggle out, I guess. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Skywolf. Appreciate you guys. I don't know who that was. That wasn't me.
You wanted to talk to me?
Not really.
I heard the rumors and I want to be in the tag team Money in the Bank ladder match.
Tag team? Money in the Bank? What are you talking about? Never mind. It's already the worst kept secret in WWE. But did I miss something? Are you in a tag team now?
No, but since when was that a barrier to entry? Seems like WWE's whole deal is putting teammates together at the last minute for matches.
You're so
Not
real
all
for the
of
Red
them
Bull.
even like each other.
Touché. All right, I can get you an opportunity.
Wait, the subtle shades of WWE making tag teams right there? I mean, real,
And
but
don't
like,
think I'm going to play
Ooh.
tag team matchmaker. Most of the women on the roster are looking for a partner to swipe right on so that they can win the briefcase and challenge Asuka and Tamina for the titles. I don't have time for it.
Why are
Find
Asuka
a
and
partner,
Tamina the
and I'll
champ?
get
What
you in
is
the
what?
qualifying match.
Huh? What is happening?
Now that I can do. Thanks.
Just make the most of it. Winning the tag championships would be no small accomplishment.
They could have made it at least a little more realistic with having Natty with somebody. Like, what do you mean Tamina and Asuka? Hello? I have never seen those two interact, like, at ever, actually. I mean, to be fair, we're not going for realism here because Piper Niven gets hit by a car, so... We haven't gotten there yet, spoiler. Oh, you heard me. You will see it, hopefully. Oh! Natty sneaking into the tag team division once again!
Everyone in this locker room is acting like they've never heard of a tag team Money in the Bank match before.
You have?
No, but my point is that I could have. I've been around WWE so long that I'm not thrown by anything new that management introduces. I am, after all, the most winning woman in all of WWE. Anyone would be lucky to team with me. Speaking of, do you have a partner?
I don't, but let's do it.
No, but I'm looking for one.
Interesting, because I've already succeeded at what you're trying to do, winning the tag team titles, not to mention the SmackDown Women's Championship. We could make quite a splash, a former and future champion with an up-and-coming legacy superstar. And it won't be my first Money in the Bank match either. I doubt you'll find anyone else to partner with who has my level of experience.
Okay, talk your shit, Natty. I'm just waking up, please.
I hear you. Experience is important. Teaches you what to expect in the ring and what to avoid.
I knew you'd get it, and I'm happy to share it all with you if you decide you want to give our partnership a go.
Solid pitch.
Of course it's solid. Like I said, I know this company like the back of my record-breaking hand.
Okay, spill. Okay, well, I want to be on her team. Are they gonna really have me pick between Liv and Natty? I can't pick.
I'm sure you heard about the tag team Money in the Bank match, right? I would be lying if I said I'm not intrigued.
I'm pretty interested too.
Do you have a partner?
Not yet.
I'm also looking. Standing in someone else's shadow instead of... I thought you might. And I think it's important for tag team partners to understand each other. Anyway, if you want to team up, let me know.
To be fair, yeah, she did. We do have a little storyline going, me and Liv. She did try to fight me. Girl, no one's gonna choose Fanny.
This is all so exciting.
It's an opportunity, Fanny.
Chill out.
All right.
No.
Ambition is important.
Really?
I'll get back to you.
Yeah, I don't even care. Like, shut up. Like, you annoy me.
How go the trials and tribulations of a WWE superstar who's looking for true tag team partnership love?
This isn't how it happens, by the way. Like, WWE just pairs them up, probably. Like, they don't just go walking around the locker room. Do you want to be a... Do...
Huh?
Never mind. How's it going, kid? I know from the chatter around here that you've got options, but I hope you're weighing them carefully. In success, a tag team partner is someone you'll be spending a lot of time with. It's actually how I first got to know your aunt.
Are you sure? Like, a lot of time? Like, how much time? Are we gonna split them up after 3 matches? Or are we gonna have them stay a tag team for, like, 7+ years, like, the New Day? Like, why can't we have that? Like, what? Like, what? Like, what do you mean, how, like, what?
Yeah. I've actually been trying not to bring that up. I know.
Yeah, probably for the best. But it's also a great example of what can happen if you don't choose your partner wisely. Although, after we broke up, our past definitely did fuel our matches against each other.
Any advice?
Decide what you think is most important in your partner. It's different for everyone. Do you want a team with someone who shares your values and perspective? Maybe you want a partner
Welcome
who's as
in.
ambitious and driven as you are. Or perhaps it's someone whose experience can help push you to your full potential.
Look, could you imagine?
Anyway, lots of factors to consider.
You guys want to be besties? I would literally be like, shut up, get out of my face. Also, wait. Okay, in perspective, I see what WWE always tries to do with breaking up a tag team, but it never works. Like, they try to make them like out to be the most vicious rivals for each other, like the Blind Side. Gasp. Oh my god, she turned her back on her best friend. Like, nobody cares for half of the teams unless you build them up and then break them up. Like, you can't have them be a tag team for like less than a year and then be like, oh, they broke up. Like, give me a break. Like, I don't know who is making that executive decision, but they need to be fired. They need to go sit in a library at the library computer and do some research, I guess. Public library.
I think I have an idea of who I'm going to ask.
Oh?
I want to tag with someone with a proven track record and experience that can make me even better. I've made my decision. I'm asking Natalia.
I would say in the last couple years, I would say Sasha and Bailey was a good one, but they got back together and that like their whole like tag team storyline. And then I say Shield, yeah, and then Evolution with Ric Flair, Batista, Triple H. Like, they're trying to build stuff like that, but they're not doing a good job of it. I like Toxic Attraction split, but the way their match at the last pay-per-view for NXT was like 5 minutes long, I was like, what the actual fuck? Like, what?
Interesting choice. I'll set you up for the first qualifying match tonight.
Exactly. I want to be that girl that Natty teams up with, that everybody's like, why is Natty teaming up with a random girl? That's gonna be me. Yeah, I think they need to at least get to the same pay-per-view again. Like, get to SummerSlam again and then break up. Or, like, get to 2 WrestleManias and then break up. Build that together. Like, if they broke up New Day, bitch, we'd all gag. Like, the internet would break. But, like, they wouldn't. I hope they don't. But, like, they need to build stuff like that. Like, the New Day, DX, Shield. Like, it's so bad. That could be a good storyline for Damage Control if one of them leaves, like Dakota or Io, and then they bring in someone else.
No longer in someone else's shadow, this wrestler has a bright future.
The following is a tag team match set for one fall. Introducing first, from Boston, Massachusetts, NemesisLacroix.
The moment this match was announced, the WWE Universe has expected a classic. I think it is destined to deliver.
Which is weird, because didn't he, like... Wasn't that his first order of business when he was executive, is putting Damage Control together?
Second generation superstar looks to finish on top in this one.
And now he wants to break it up. Like, why aren't you using that as your... That's like your baby. Like, care for them, please. Yeah, I do a lot of Starfire cosplay, so I had a creator... Oh, I should probably put tag and pin their thing again. create an outfit for me, for my character in the game.
Well, Natalya represents a dynasty of sports entertainment.
She's mugged. Too bad it has her old nose. Oh!
Natalya has a great mixture of mat wrestling skill as well as pure power.
The Queen of Hearts is about to hold court. Byron, time to put your hair up and you don't have any hair. But you get the point.
And from Cheval, New Jersey, Sonya Deville.
Oh, here's a cunning opportunist.
Careful how you speak about Sonya, Cole. She happens to have a very gifted mind for this.
Oh, my necklace broke.
Both as an official and from
That's
bell to
lovely.
bell.
This necklace is new too. Like, what the?
She's a powerful striker with a very extensive mixed martial arts background.
I don't know how I feel about Sonya's face. It's kind of off a little bit, if I'm
The
honest.
talented Josie Jane is here. The road to the first ever WWE Tag Team Money in the Bank match begins right here on SmackDown.
Canada isn't real, just like Australia, so don't even try to gag me with
Kicking things off
that.
in a qualifying match against Tough as Nails veterans Sonya Deville and Josie Jane.
I'll be watching to see.
Oh wait, is it on easy mode still? Oh man.
If Justine's knees can keep her momentum.
Yeah,
going
Marshall's
here
been
after
trying to
that big win
gaslight
against
me
David
that
Moreno.
Australia and Canada have been real for years. His accent is fake.
From the apron, you gotta be kidding me! Oh, colliding with a barricade.
Oh, I'm about to gag her. Watch this. Oh. No, what's up though? Like, what's up? What's up, Josie? Yeah, what's up, Josie? Yeah, what's up, bitch? Oh, clocked. No, she was gagged. Sonya, if we're not gonna get in the ring, I'm gonna do this.
Someone's gotta get back to the ring now. It might not be flashy, but sometimes you just gotta toss another
I hate
person
the
to make
hitbox
things
for that fucking thing.
Reversal on Deville. Knockout power.
Is their dog still alive? Is that terrible for me to say?
Much more of this.
Josie has to trust her instincts at this point.
A cure for heterosexuality. Hi, Kat. Welcome in. Oh, fuck.
Just pounding away. Enough already.
No, they lost Josie. No.
Got the head scissors on. Sharp elbow. And finds
Yeah,
it.
the Bella Twins are in the game, actually. No, she's not. Watch this. I'm going to win right here.
This could be it.
Coming to
Okay, the ref going all the way around me to pin, like, get the pin. Like, what? Like, are you good? That's it. Count it, ref. That's 3. Hi, Talis.
goes into the pin. 2 count and still hanging on.
She's still
I don't know if I'm playing on Legend mode right now. Been watching your YouTube for a while. Finally able to catch a stream. Well, welcome in. Happy to have you.
rallying behind her.
Oh, I missed.
Devastating elbow.
That's really awkward.
Just
Oh,
a
oh.
self-preservation, I may have to excuse myself. Saxton, you hang tight. Let this play out.
Ah, look at this. Handball mat slam. Oh my God.
Nice try, Sonya.
She's looking highly motivated, getting hyped up. This is troublesome for Deville.
Exactly. Me and Mother Natty. Points, points.
An emphatic victory for your
We're future tag champions.
Perfect chemistry between
The way Natty didn't even do anything in the match. She just stood there. So real. Come on, you guys. When I do a sharpshooter homage. When they split me and Natty up, don't do this to me. Don't do this to me.
I'm on my own.
Against the wall.
The pressure's building, but no, I will never fall.
Well, this pair certainly has
Oh
something
my
to
god,
celebrate.
me and my
Qualifying for the
bestie.
first
Oh my
ever
god.
tag team Money in the Bank match.
It was a huge win in their...
What was that?
What happened?
Someone said help!
Oh my
Natty! Oh my god, Natty!
A fallen lighting rig?
Oh my god!
Accident even happened.
I need help! Someone, Natty! No!
What else could it be? This tag team's too new to have enemies.
Oh, we hope she's okay. We'll keep you updated on this developing situation.
Hold on.
Oh my god, they killed Natty! What the fuck?
Can't wait to get this space back. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Lift!
Why is this so heavy? That good?
Nah, we gotta get it closer for pickup. Honestly, I'm just glad that you weren't the one who got hurt.
Oh no, Piper hasn't gotten hit by the car yet. I just saw the clip on Twitter.
Taken out by a lighting rig.
No. Luckily, recovery's only a few weeks. Too late to help me for the tag team Money in the Bank match, though.
Even a small injury can mess with your head. Believe me, I know. Did they ever figure out how that thing fell?
Unclear. Seems like dumb bad luck. For me, too. Finally figured out who to partner with, and now they're not even cleared to compete. Such a bummer. We were just getting started together.
It's the
I
default
always loved
outfit.
watching
It's
the
kind of
tag
funny.
matches the
I'm
most
like,
when I was
okay,
on the road
default
too.
outfit being Lois Griffin
And those
attire.
clips of you and Molly tagging together weren't bad either.
Ah, yes, your new best friend, Molly.
She's not my
She's
bestie.
not my best friend.
No, it's literally the default.
Don't you
I'm
want
dead
me to be
serious.
on good terms with management?
Fine, you're right. Lift.
Tina.
I think those championships are so aspirational for me because WWE finally has them. After the women's titles were introduced.
Okay, my face
in
is beat though. That
2018,
literally looks
tag
like
matches
me.
started to seem even more important. Ow!
Excuse me?
What did I do?
No shade to the current generation, but I grew up watching women compete on TV in tag team championship matches.
You did?
I have clearly failed to teach you proper wrestling history. Yes! Did you think I grew up in a vacuum and one day said, I think I'll become a professional lady wrestler? No! I watched and was inspired just like you. For me, it was seeing the main
It's a
event
bug.
women's
Sometimes they don't have
championship match at the
eyes.
Brawl to
It's
End It
weird.
All in '84 that gave me the bug. But the tag champions back then were formidable too. I would have loved to see the superstars.
See,
of
my
today
character doesn't have an
defend
eye
against
right
some
now
of
on
women
the
I grew
left.
up idolizing on TV.
So what happened to the titles?
I don't know. Appetites changed. Management started putting their attention elsewhere and opportunities dried up. The championships, and a lot of the women themselves for that matter, got pushed aside.
Yeah, who
You
did
did
the
your
voice acting on this
Tater,
lady?
you
Do
know
we
what it's
know?
like.
Can we book her for the
Not the best when
podcast?
you're fighting for limited opportunities.
You have way more opportunities than I ever did. If I had the chance to accomplish what you can,
You accomplished plenty.
take even the current tag titles. Like you said, I never even had a chance to compete for a tag team championship when I was in WWE. They weren't a thing then. In fact, I heard you're in need of a partner. What do you
Don't.
say? Can you imagine?
No.
You and me standing as champions at WrestleMania? The Mysterios can't have a lock on this family thing.
Very funny. Like you could get in the ring again. Did I tell you that Molly said I can't even pick my own replacement partner?
Oh? Your best friend isn't letting you call the shots?
Oh, shush. No, everyone's clamoring to team up with me since I've already secured the Money in the Bank opportunity. So they're having a fatal four-way on Raw to decide.
Interesting method. You know, on second thought, maybe I want to keep this desk. So many memories.
Justine!
Kidding. Let's go. 1, 2, 3.
I don't like what? Like what? What was the point? Okay, no words. Mother Natalia's out on injury. She's like in the can we go get her roses? Like, can we literally visit her with flowers? I'm gagged they did that. That's funny though. Oh, Mother Natty. She sent me a nice little... No, don't you dare.
Seriously? You?
Yes! Me! What can I say? I'm a winner, baby!
Molly, come on! I can't work with her!
What about the stuff you said when you were asking to be put into this match? About tag teams being thrown together at the last minute, not even liking each other? This seems pretty standard for WWE, if I'm being honest.
But what about the stuff you said about picking my tag team partner carefully?
Don't use my own words against me. That's what I was trying to do to you.
She is setting us up, this bitch.
Anyway, there's no need to argue. This has been decided. And I, for one, am very excited to find out whether the two of you can coexist.
Won't be a problem for me.
Not can they coexist in the game. The storyline, they're giving Asuka and Bianca right now the tired ass can they coexist storyline. Give me a break.
Speak for yourself. With our history, it's a problem for me.
Cool it. Don't forget, if you two set your differences aside and pull this thing off, you both win. And so you guys don't blow it and embarrass me, I've set up a training session before the actual Money in the Bank match. You can work out your issues and also practice your ladder climbing abilities. Meet me at the PC.
Same. They could have done they could have made Asuka crazy like Mickey versus Trish. They could have done like segments to make Asuka like actually crazy, like steal the championship or and taunt her with it, or do something like make her crazy instead of just like running out to the ring with her mist and doing absolutely nothing. They could have literally... Is this butterfly sitting the right way? Hold on, excuse me, wait, hold on, who are you people? If I have to go the whole story with using this fucking... Is the objective of this match to actually climb this ladder? Oh, it is. It's so small. Okay. Well, F you. What the heck? Why couldn't I reverse it? What? No words. Angel, thank you for the follow. Oh my god, they make it so hard to interact with this ladder. Just go. Yes, it's my mom's birthday. She's fierce. Gagged. Girl, climb up the ladder. Okay. Well, now I have to take out two girls. Bitch. Seriously, get off me. Also, why can't I fucking climb the ladder? What was she just doing with the kendo stick? Alright, we did it. Yes, you did. She's not here. She's actually up. She's somewhere. I don't know. She's not home. I don't know where she's at.
Toxic.
I like messaged her. I was like, oh, so the surprise party I planned isn't gonna happen. There's like animals. I got a petting zoo. I got an elephant. I got a slide. I got a food truck. And she's like, really? And I went, no, what the fuck? Why would I? It is uneasy.
You know what? I think we work better as a team when you stay out of my way.
Okay.
I actually agree with you on that front, because that means you're away from me, too.
And give up the chance to be a tag team champion? Even my dislike of you can't sour my thirst for those titles.
Fine. Then let's not get in each other's way against whoever Molly has lined up for us.
Then we should decide who's going for the pin, just so there's no confusion.
I'll get the pin. I'm not leaving this up to you.
Fine. Go for it.
Why does that matter? Just pin somebody. Because I was playing Dead by Daylight last night and I changed all of my settings on my Steam to change so I don't get DDoSed. I didn't want them to see like my profile saying I'm a Twitch streamer or like recognize me as a Twitch streamer and be like, let me DDoS. Because that's happening, I guess, right now. About a bunch of people are getting DDoS for playing DVD. So I changed my name to Charlotte Flair and like took everything out of my bio. I said I will not entertain this idea of being attacked. Like, please be serious. Why is Molly entering the... Okay. So she set up this... So she's trying to set us up. Miss Molly's trying to set us up. What's the tea? No, because what's the tea? Like, what was the... What? Oh, that's one for the stream of me doing that get up animation. I can't believe her. This setup of her and pairing us against two Hall of Famers. She's nasty for that. Like, what is your issue? No, what's up, Molly? Like, what's up? You had so much to say about me in the media. What's good? I just hit the ref. Oh, oh, oh. Oh. What? What's good, Trish? Like, what's up, bitch? I actually don't mind. I actually like it because it's different. I don't like spamming stuff in games, so. Oh! That's interesting, Molly. You want to beat up all of the new hires. That's really interesting, Molly. I reversed that, but okay. I'm stunned. I was stunned. I was shocked. Yeah, get her off me, ref. I'm on the ropes. I don't want to play this bitch. Oh, stop. Thank you. I'm like, damn, no compliments on the mug today. I love the mug. Oh, get her. What is her name? Ava? Yeah, I didn't think I was gonna win off of Hey Molly, what's up, girl? Where are we right now? Like, what is this arena? Like, what is happening? Get her. Oh, wait, that was good. Eat. Okay, let's not get comfortable as a tag team, because I will never be tagging with you again. I remember how nasty you were. Oh my god, wait, there is live music. Okay, work. I missed? What? No, get back here. Okay. Girl, get up. What is with you, Molly? Punch her, Ava, punch her. What? I'm not done with you, bitch. That's what I thought. Let me take care of business. Oh, that's not it. Oh! So I just don't give an F about Molly. She said IDGA F about you. Thank you for the biddies. Also, Brendan, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. I have no idea where my phone is. Oh, it's over there. I'm not getting up. I would like to have a conversation with you, Miss Molly.
Where'd Trish go? Certainly wasn't expecting to see her tonight, but I'd love to see what she thought of our matchup.
She pieced right after the match. We could never stand to spend that much time together. Didn't you see any of our singles matches? Not the biggest fan of me.
But she came to team with you?
Yes, she did. Because despite our differences, we respect each other. And we respect what happens in the ring. That's my point. You don't need to like each other to win.
But you guys lost.
I'm not saying we took it easy on you, but we're WWE legends.
I'm choosing not to process that last comment. I don't want to ruin this moment of getting a victory over you and Trish Stratus.
Fine by me. But you get my point. You two are as ready as you're going to be. Just try not to kill each other before the Money in the Bank match, okay?
I'll try my best.
And no promises. Couldn't I technically win the tag team titles alone? I know it would be harder, but possibly worth it.
Oh, shut up.
Oh! She kind of gagged me, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, shut up. Oh! Oh, wow. Who's in the match? Maximum Male Models. Maximum Male Models are hot.
Listen, I know I'm biased in terms of what outcome I'd like to see tonight, but I can't get over the fact that we're previewing a women's tag team Money in the Bank match. Women didn't even have a regular Money in the Bank match until 2017. Boy, what I would give to compete. But since I can't
with her being like, oh,
putting in the work.
I want to compete so bad.
She's not with the partner I hoped she would be competing with.
No-name loser. Shut up.
You win some, you lose some. In any event, it'll be an interesting evening. And I'm sure the tag champs will be watching carefully.
I hope Natty comes out at the end of the match. She's like, oh my god.
I know I'm sexy.
Little Miss living in the past. Like, literally. Like, no one GAF. Like, please.
This wrestler grew up in the business and now she's growing up before our...
Shut up.
Hands off.
The way when I was at the event, I didn't even record anything with Nikki ASH in it.
Here comes Nikki.
Nikki and Dana are partners. That kind of makes sense a little bit. Rhea and who? Shotzi? Okay.
It's time for WWE.
Oh.
Almost makes me want to climb up that ladder myself. Nobody wants to see that, Saxton, especially with three incredible teams vying to make history, including the unlikeliest of luck, Ava Moreno and her part.
One of these teams will etch their names in the record books while earning a chance.
What's up, Nikki ASH? Flop. Yo, what's up? What's up? What's up? That's what I'm saying. Like, no actual tag teams. These just random ones. I guess it's not based in reality, but it's like... Okay, what's happening over here? Wait, they do that spot that they all stand together so they can catch me? They didn't catch me.
Too erratic of a decision to take such a high risk at this junction of the match. What a counter.
There's so much happening. Oh.
What a shot! Oh man, check out this power!
No, what's up, Dana? Like, what's up?
And she goes for the forget the count. She's got more punishment in mind. She heads out of the ring. Interesting strategy.
Shotzi able to avoid impact. Oh my goodness.
Okay, well, there's a lot of... Oh.
From behind.
Oh.
There goes Ripley, sent to the outside hard. Oh my God.
That would be nice. They could, though, which... It's annoying that they don't, you know what I mean? I wish they would. Like, people would buy it. Whoa, this is crazy. I'm hanging on for my life. Oh.
There's nothing keeping her inside the ring.
Connects the fist to the face. Great talent.
Inverted atomic drop, not finished yet.
Thinking about how Naomi had always the best spots in these matches, but never won one of these matches. It's kind of annoying that she never did. I hate that they used her for like the gimmick and like all of these matches, like Money in the Bank and Rumble, and never gave her a win. You go get the briefcase. I'll protect. Dana, get down. Yeah, get her. Oh. Get it, get it, get it. Yes! Oh, I teleport to the top of the ladder. Oh my god, I won, guys. We won. We won. Oh, don't touch me. Oh. Push her off the ladder. Push her off.
Hopefully they can get it together enough to cash in that contract.
We'll see.
Oh, fights. Yeah, same with Kofi. Well, when he lost his title, it was terrible. That was so terrible. So rotted. Push your grandmother down. I'll do it. Pussy. Oh, sorry. I'm gonna say something controversial. I actually don't mind Alexa's new theme. Oh, Austin, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Why is everybody here? Who the fuck is Robin Rain?
I'm sure you heard the latest episode of my podcast. I was wondering if you had any response to Tamina's comment saying you have fear in your eyes? According to her, even in the ring, you're looking to escape. Or better yet, how about you two have a match without
They did? What did they change
ring?
it to? How's the game? I think I already answered that. It's good. I'm enjoying my time. Having a good time. Booked and blast. No, literally, I'd be like, okay. Everybody has a podcast, but Nemesis's podcast with Young Onyx and Zane X is one of the best ones. I know that's right. Triple Fat available on Spotify. The way I skipped it and it didn't. Okay. I've been wanting to try it. I think I'll do a different stream for it.
I've got it on good authority that this stems from Tamina's disparaging comments about a certain opponent on a recent podcast.
No exiting the ring allowed.
Didn't multiple people escape from Alcatraz?
So like what if I get thrown out of the ring?
Nonetheless, the referee will do their best to keep these two in the ring to settle their issue.
Enough already. Hit the ropes. Oh, running knee strike.
The colossal clutch.
Unleashed might and force.
Now, just pick the leg. Counters that.
My god, some other is taking it to me.
Reading each other's minds.
Into the corner now.
Diving splash in the corner.
Producing a trampling.
Exclamation point.
Boom. Devastating kick.
Tamina gets out of harm's way.
And that was taking the attack to the competition.
No, it's not
with that
Raquel.
one.
This is nobody's Mina than Tamina.
Stop it. Ooh. She's enduring some damage. Evades their offense. Clothesline. Oh, man. Strikes with a kick. And a well-executed move we just saw there. And an impactful display of offense we just witnessed there. Oh, perfect kick. Super kick.
Not done yet.
Cover. Two.
Oh.
And that'll about do it, folks.
She was talking all that shit, and then I just stomped her.
Wrestle perhaps the perfect match. Never any doubt in this win.
Never a doubt. Barely a moment's suspense. This one was about as lopsided as they come.
Darth, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Hello. Wesley's theme song is so good. Like, if he needs a manager, like a gorgeous, fine-ass woman like me to walk with him to the ring every week and do absolutely nothing, give me a call. Because I would do it. Hire me. I wonder how people like that get hired by WWE. Like, how did Maxine and like all the managers get hired? Because they can't, like, some of them can't wrestle. I know Maxine has gone under some training.
So I've been thinking about how to handle my cash-in for a tag team championship match.
Again with this my thing. We both...
What? Are we supposed to decide by committee? Hold a vote or something?
That sounds fair.
How's that gonna play out? I vote for my way and you vote for yours?
Work.
Besides, holding the Money in the Bank briefcase isn't just about being skilled in the ring. It's about being sneaky, too. Leveraging the briefcase to cash in when your opponents are off their game. I don't think you have that in you. When I was down on main event,
That kind of
you
sucks.
couldn't even take advantage of
Like,
that
what if Maxine wants to
opportunity.
fight?
I can be sneaky.
No, I can see it now. You walk up to the champs, politely tap them on the shoulders, and respectfully challenge them to a match. You're too much of a good girl, LJ. You need to be willing to play dirty.
I can play dirty when I want to.
Then prove it. Take someone out when they don't expect it. Then, you and I can negotiate how we cash in the briefcase.
Okay, that's ridiculous. I'm not playing your games.
Fine. But I'm not cashing in this contract with the...
Like, I'm not gonna... The briefcase in her shoe? The glitch? Okay.
Cheerio, LJ.
Cheerio?
Well, yes, always. But no. WWE is planning another Queen's Crown tournament, and this time they're really getting into the spirit of love for a monarchy. It's happening overseas at NXT UK.
Well, that's pretty cool. You going over to cover it for Ruthless Digressions?
Ellie, thank you for the
Hey,
follow.
pick me up one of those Royal Guard outfits, would you?
No, I can't make the trip. But I was thinking you might. The spots have mostly been...
Sounds smashing.
Yeah, voltage...
Oh, and indubitably.
Oh, shut up. I don't want to win this Queen's Crown. I'll participate, but I don't want to win. Oh god, why am I so tired? Ellie, it's good. I like it. I just wish like I could fight more wrestlers. Like right now we're like still, I guess, on the rise and we're fighting like I just hate fighting the in-game people. Like Ava and whatever. I'm like, I don't care. Like, stop. Who the fuck are you?
Ah, there she is.
Really?
Well, not so much how you look, but
You both.
Thank you. And
it was nothing, lover.
really? I didn't mean to. So you're.
I am literally okay. Like he just like annoys me. Like please.
Well, well, well. You're lucky that I'm not running this tournament.
Why?
We're all lucky you're not running this tournament. Because then you just figure out a way to give yourself the crown and we'd have all wasted a trip.
At least every contestant would deserve to be here.
Don't act like you wouldn't have done the same thing. I plan on winning this tournament, and I have to be in it to win it.
Whatever. I guess it's up to me to send you back home.
Good luck with that, Sonia.
Thank you both for the follows. Welcome in. Ooh, not NXT UK.
Second generation superstar who's here to right her own.
So sad. Rip. Why am I fighting? And also, why are we ending it? What is happening?
Grab yourself a cup of tea and sit down in front of the telly because it's time to kick off the Queen's Crown Tournament from the UK.
And I don't think there could be a better setting. The royalty, the pageantry. I only wish we could have seen Beth Spartan get a shot on her home turf.
No, come on, Saxton. Spartan would be totally outclassed. At least this way, Sonya Deville might actually work up a
Thank
sweat.
you.
Ooh, going over the top.
If she, you know, the glitch of your eyes not loading would work. That'd be nice.
Was mounted with punches and a stop to the gut too.
Do you have AMD? I do. Is it an AMD issue?
Well-measured strike.
That's so annoying. Of course it is.
Deville clearly feeling mighty proud of
Lately,
herself
all of my
right
issues
about
have been AMD processor related. Do I have to update my drivers? Or is there no resolution yet?
From the apron!
Moonsault from the apron! Just exhibiting their
That's
fearlessness.
lovely.
Exhibiting guts and accuracy as well.
Run out of ringside and back to the mat. DDT! Can she keep her down? And she kicks out at 2.
She is still fighting, still keeping this going.
This could be big. Going up high. Here we go.
Timing.
Gagged.
This could be it. She breaks the count quick.
Impressive to not even allow a 2 count at this juncture.
All measured up. Drop kick to the spine. Deville struggling.
Thank you for letting me know that,
herself.
Ellie. That's
Sonya keeps
helpful. I'll
getting
have to
cut
like
down.
message some people I know at AMD.
Side headlock takeover, nicely done.
Tremendous pressure to the neck and neck.
I'm gonna use Sonya's theme song.
Deville was ready there.
And we just saw some serious offense.
Actually, you know what? Dang it. I was hoping to do a suicide dive. Let me live my fantasy.
She flips it back on her.
Counters on counters. Technical prowess on display.
Momentum now on her side.
Yeah, she continues to maintain the leverage here. Keys.
And now she's looking to go top rope.
Sinking elbow. This is troublesome for Deville. 2.
And this one is over.
Here is your winner,
What an emphatic victory, guys. No contest.
This is what you get when you have complete confidence and
Ooh, I just got dizzy. Ooh, I'm getting really dizzy. Oh my god, so dizzy. I'm installing the Bayonetta games so I'm not behind. I'm actually gonna take a break and we'll probably switch to Bayonetta just because I can't stop yawning. I'm just gonna stretch and we'll figure it out from there. I'll be right back.